Kenny was a great guy. He was fun and he loved life and he would just make us smile all the time. He worked for an engineering company. He would work 70, 80 hours a week to provide for us. He had spinal problems, and in 2014 he had to stop working. He also had a liver illness, and that combined for 5 years he went through a lot. He was in the hospital more than he was out, but he was a fighter. He just kept fighting and fighting, and he taught me so much about perseverance and courage and that you just don't give up. He passed away in 2019, and because of his courage and his strength, it's given us the courage to keep going. It was an extremely difficult time. We were in Dallas for about 3 months and we had no family. Our friends that lived anywhere close were still a long ways away. I was basically by myself with God. There was a gentleman that used to go to Aldersgate that I didn't really even know very well. I knew him, but I didn't know him very well. And he found out about our situation and he called his cousin who lived in the Dallas area to come check on us. And when he showed up in the ICU, I was just overwhelmed that God loved me so much to send someone that was tangible. I mean, just to get a hug from somebody that was related to people that I loved, it was just huge. People stopping by, people sending me texts, sending me scriptures to help me through. It was just life-giving. It's how I survived what we went through. My counselor encouraged me after a couple of years. I was not in a good place, and she knew I had a servant's heart. And she said, you know, maybe just dip your toe in. Try to find somewhere where you feel like you're helping others. I think that would make you feel better. So I did. I started doing Meals on Wheels, and she was right. I did start feeling better after that. So that led me to go to talk to Ryan and say, I feel like God's leading me in this direction. He was all for it. So he had a list and I had a list, and a lot of them overlapped with people that needed to be seen and just encouraged. He calls it a ministry of presence. I call it just showing up. You show up for people. Everybody's going to go through something. I knew from experience that just having that friendly face, having somebody to come in and say, hey, how you doing, you know, or come hold their hand when they're saying goodbye to their loved one. You know, it can be just as easy as sending a card or taking a meal. It's just showing up for people. The verse that we clung to when my husband was sick was 1 Peter 5:10. Peter talks about after a little while, God will restore you and comfort you and establish you. And that's what I try to encourage people, that even though this is maybe one of the worst times in their lives, it is for a little while. It's not forever. And leaning into God and leaning into their faith it's just everything. As we know, God calls us and commands us to know that we all have a gift. The Holy Spirit is with us, and in that, we know we have a gift from God. I just believe that your gift is really something, in my opinion, that comes from your life experiences. I believe that even though it's hard sometimes to see that gift, it's hard to know that that gift is out of hard places, it's still a gift, and you should not ignore it. You should not push it away. It can be frightening, it can be scary to jump out there and say, well, I'm gonna do this thing. But that's part of it, is you're leaning on Him to guide you through on how to give your gift to others. Our goal in life should be to find out, what is that gift? Where do I serve others to glorify God? God will lead you into the right places. He'll open the doors and He will bring you to that place where your gift is most needed. You're gonna feel comfortable in that place once you find it. That's the great thing about the Holy Spirit. He's not gonna leave you. He's not gonna desert you. He's gonna lead you right into where you need to be. Just don't give up.